continue to let our tax money go to those who are spending it on drugs versus the actual purpose on why they're receiving it? Those who are collecting welfare checks and doing God knows what with them? Shouldn't we be protecting our money and drug test those who need assistance? That way we can make sure that they're actually doing something to better themselves. That way they can get off of welfare. Drug testing welfare occupants will help prevent those who abuse the system. It will make them get up, fix their lives, and take care of themselves. It will help save taxpayers money, prevent illegal drug use to the poverty class, and help those get up, pass a drug test. That way they can get a job to get off of welfare. If we drug test welfare participants, taxpayers will be saving money. There will be less funding to this organization because those who will actually need it will be receiving it. Taxpayers would also have a peace of mind knowing that their money that is going to welfare is actually going to those who need it, not to those who are just abusing it. Social safety nets were instituted during the Great Depression, and at that time we needed a lot of help. There's Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment relief, public assistance, and other government assistance programs that will help Americans get back on their feet. A senior research fellow in domestic policy, Robert Rector, said that taxpayers should provide support to those in need. Recipients in return should engage in responsible and constructive behavior as a condition to receiving aid, and that's according to the Benson article online. The total amount in 2011 was on the 80-plus federal welfare programs amounted to $1.03 trillion. Spending it on the 10 largest of the 80-plus programs has doubled as a share to the federal budget over the last 30 years. In inflation-adjusted dollars, the amount expended on these 10 latest programs has increased by 378%. So the government spent 50% more on corporate welfare, and $92 billion is spent on corporate subsidies. So the government spent 50% more on corporate welfare than it did on food stamps, housing, and in 2006, and that's according to Government Spend's article online. The federal outlay for actually budget spending in 2011 welfare was 13%, and in 2014 the federal outlays was 11%, and that's shown in this graph right here. Drug testing will help prevent illegal drug use to the poverty class and help those get a job. If we drug test those, if we drug test is required, then many of the people that are on welfare will have to pass in order to actually get the welfare. Welfare is a social contract between the people in need, those providing for them. If taxpayers were required to give part of their earnings to people who are in need, it would be responsible to expect that the standards to ensure that the temporary nature of these assistance or people receiving the welfare should be held to a certain standard in order to ensure their temporary nature of the assistance. That way they can get a job and pass a drug test. Drug tests would ensure that receiving assistance upheld the level of responsibility and behavior. Many companies mandate drug tests, like colleges do. If you're an athlete, a professional or college athlete, you have to get a drug test. The military does. Many jobs do. Everywhere, in order to get any sort of a vast majority of people are required to take a drug test at one time for various reasons. It's just to make sure that they're abiding by the law. Welfare recipients should be held to the same standards as everybody else in this regard. According to Dr. Pollack at the Substance Abuse Policy Research Program, psychiatric disorders are more prevalent amongst welfare recipients than drug use. And he also reports that 20% of welfare recipients admit to the recent use of illicit drugs. Drug testing welfare participants will help give the taxpayers a chance to know where their money is going to. Drug testing welfare occupants will eliminate those who aren't using it for the correct reasons and make them get up and get a job to support themselves. And if we drug test, the welfare funding will specifically go towards something that it needs versus those who abuse the system and are too lazy to get a job. If we decrease welfare funding, of course, we can increase other government or other organizations. We shouldn't have to help those who don't want it. They can get up, get their lives together, get a job, or get off drugs, pass a drug test. That way they can get a job to get off of welfare. That way we can stop supporting them, because everybody needs help, and we can only help everyone for so long. If you can't pass, you aren't doing anything to help change your life, so why should we reward you? Simple enough, no drug tests, no welfare.